Hi, welcome to The Passionate Spinner. My name is Tracy, and today I wanted to share with you a last-minute DIY gift idea. So, if you, like me, have a bag filled with swatches, I have an idea for you. Now, I'm going to show you what I created. I'm so happy with it. Ta-ta! It's a small cable needle holder. That's the word. And it looks like this. I'm super happy with it. I'm going to show you the back a bit later, but yeah, all you need for this is a swatch. I'm going to demonstrate with this. This is a stockinette swatch, right? I have it lying around. I knit this sweater that goes with this swatch, I don't know, 15 years ago. It's my guess. Maybe it's only 12, but it's a long time ago, right? So I have this swatch, and all you need extra is a piece of wood that is around an inch smaller on all sides than your knitted piece is, like this, right? Because you need to stretch it around later and attach it. And you're gonna need a bit of fiber fill. That's it. Piece of wood, fiber fill, your swatch, and a needle, sewing needle, big darning needle, whatever, and some yarn ends, thread, like pieces, leftover pieces of bits. Now, back to this. I did this with a cable pattern, and this is the actual download for this pattern. It's for free, of course, but I tell you how to knit this bit of piece, this little bit of knitting, that small piece that you can turn into a cable needle board. And the back looks like this. Now, this could have been done a bit neater, but yeah, it just turned out that way. The important bit is that you can do this without any fancy equipment. I originally wanted to do it with drawing pins, but as you can see in the actual tutorial part, I could not get those drawing pins into my wood. It's too hard. It was not possible. I do not have a staple gun, apparently. The only other way would be a hot glue gun, but I'm just not sure how well that will hold. So this was what I did. And this is also the way that allows you to do this without having any of those other things. You don't need anything. This is a bit of leftover cotton yarn that I used, and then some thread to sew on that piece of ribbon. That's it. So you have your swatch, you have your plywood or wood, piece of wood, whatever. If you do not have wood, you could also tape together many layers of like cereal box carton, can use that. Have your fiber fill and maybe a bit of leftover ribbon. And you can make this DIY gift. I made this when we do not count the knitting. I did the knitting last night, but if you have a swatch that you're going to use, it takes half an hour to make this. And I think it would be the perfect little gift for a knitter in your life because it's cute and it's very usable, it has a very good purpose and it just looks super sweet. I think I'm super happy with this. I have wanted to make this for a very long time. And now it's finally here. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial and the pattern. It will be, like I said, a free download on Ravelry and my website. I'm going to leave the links down below if you want to knit this little cabled piece. And if not, just use a swatch, cut your wood to the size that I told you, an inch or 2.5 centimeters on each side smaller. So it looks a bit like this, and you're good to go. And you can create a last-minute gift in just half an hour. So yeah, enjoy the tutorial part of this video. And I cannot wait to see your little cable needle holder board thingies. I have decided to call this Vicky because the original cable that I used for this, I designed a cowl. I would say in 2011, maybe 12, maybe 10, something like that. And I called that pattern the Victoria cowl. And because I used that Victoria cowl cable pattern, I'm going to call this little Vicky. So here we go. Vicky, the cable needle holder board thingy, is the perfect DIY. And yeah, now I'm gonna shut up. Watch the tutorial and create your own little gifts. Now it is time to show you how to create that little board for your cable needles. I have brought several things that you could use. We are going to use one of them for now. Maybe a combination of two. So the easiest thing would be to use drawing pins, but I tried and my wood is so hard that I cannot get the drawing pins in. So, you know, when you push them too hard, that little bit, can you see in this one, will come out at the other end and it's gonna hurt. So I quickly decided not to do that. But what I have here is my piece of wood, and this here is the pattern piece, the swatch piece that I am giving you the directions for in the pattern if you do not want to use one of your existing swatches. So you are going to need a piece of wood that is big enough to be covered by the whole pattern, but small enough so that you can pull your knitting to the other side like this. Now you could either use drawing pins to make it stick, or a staple gun, which I cannot find at the moment. It's not non-existent in this house. Or what we will do, we're going to lace this together with some cotton string in the needle, like you would do with a shoelace. I'm gonna start over here and I'm gonna lace it, and then we have to also do it for this side so that the whole swatch is stretched around the actual piece of wood. I'm gonna get started, and once I have my thread and my needle and everything ready, I'm gonna show you how to do it. I have now prepared a piece of cotton yarn. I'm choosing cotton because it cannot break easily, right? And I have threaded a needle into both ends so that I can do it really like lacing a shoe. So I'm gonna start by inserting my needle here on this corner and the other needle here on this corner. Then I'm gonna pull it so that I have roughly the same amount for both needles. Now what we're going to do is we're having to cross them over to create this cross. Can you see? And then go in, just, you know, in and out, basically. We go in from the wrong side, come out the right side, and maybe an inch apart. And then cross the needles over again. Wrong side in, right side out, and on the other side the same thing. And you can already see how you can stretch this piece of knitting around the wood. Now we are also going to later stretch this part. Now let's continue doing that. Switch the needles over, in from the wrong side, out on the right side, and on the other side, and then pull and switch. This is such an easy DIY idea, such a quick gift for the knitter friend in your life or for yourself. And you can use just materials that you have lying around. If you do not have a piece of wood that you can saw into the right size, you could also use carton and have many layers of like a cereal box or something put together. Okay. And now one last switch of the needles. I'm going to come out here at the corner and here at the corner. And now it is time to pull. And it's going to look something like this. Oop, lost the needle. Doesn't matter. Don't need the needle anymore. These leftover strands, you do not have to weave them in. They will just disappear. But now when you look at it from the front, you can still manipulate it a bit and get it to be nice and in the middle. And before we are lacing up the other sides, we need to stuff it a little bit. Now, I am going to knot these together with a knot, just a knot. That's it, done. Now, we are going to fill this with a bit of fiber fill so your cable needles have an easier place to stick. I'm going to use about this much, I think, for now. And I'm going to insert this between the wood and the knitting on the front side. Now, I'm going to go in with both hands and try to flatten it out a bit, because if it's too thick, it's just going to look a bit weird. And I don't want that. I want that nice looking, you know? Now, I think that's not too bad, actually. It would look like this. These ends, like I said, do not have to be woven in. You can if you want to, of course, but I am one of those people, if the backside doesn't look super nice, that's okay with me because no one's going to see that, because that is going to be against my wall. So now we are going to lace again. And now we need to find our edges and pull them around first. Now you could lace them up again, or you could sew them on here and here with a mattress stitch. I think that might be even neater. So let's do that. And then we'll look like this on the outside. I love this. I love this idea so much. I have to toot my own horn. Is that the right word? I'm going to use these ends here. See? No waste whatsoever. I have two ends on this side. I have two ends on this side. And that's perfection. So let's use them. I am going to pull this over here. Attach it to the lacing until I'm at a point where I can actually sew it to the other bit of knitting. Now, the important bit is that you form a nice corner. And is there ways to make this look a lot neater in the back? Absolutely. Is it important to me for this project? Nope, because this, like I said, is against a wall. It would have looked a lot nicer had I been able to use the drawing pins, which was my original plan, but they just will not go into the woods. So also, this is a way where you do not need any equipment, right? You can just use what you have. And this is kind of the thought behind this project, being able to use what you have. Now, I am going to weave in this end now, like this. I go through again, and then I have this little loop here that I will go through with my needle to tie a small knot. And then I will pull it here to the inside, come out here, and then we can just cut it off. Now it's woven in, and it's also been used to secure the piece of knitting around the wood. Now go to the other side with the other end and repeat what we just did. Pull it in, holding it down with my thumb a bit. Now go here. Now I've lost my end. Okay. And now I'm turning it around so I can actually see better what I'm doing. And I am sewing it down like this, like I did on the other side. I'm coming in here and out here. Now I'm left-handed, if you cannot tell. But I think that does not change anything for this part of the tutorial. Now, I am trying to make that corner be a bit flatter. And here we go, other side secured. I just have to weave in that end and repeat the same for this side with those threads. I will do that off camera because you just saw what's, you know, how to do it. I'm going to do it another time, and then we will attach a ribbon for a hanger. I have finished attaching my piece of knitting through, not through the wood. That would have been a task. Around my piece of wood. It looks like this on the back. Could this be neater? Sure. But it doesn't have to be. So now I have the actual cable needle holder done. What I want now, because I want to put this up on a wall, I have cut a piece of ribbon that I am going to attach in the back as a hanger. The important bit is now you need to be exact, right? Because if this is not centered and in the middle, it's going to look horrible. So I am going to lay it around like this. I have taken off those little wooden beads, 2 of them on each side, but I'm going to take a 3rd one off. I feel like I need a bit more room to be able to attach my, what's going on? To be able to attach the ribbon in a good way. Now, here we go. Okay, 3 beads off. I have this much to sew down, and now you can either sew it down, like really with string and a needle. You could glue it down with hot glue, or you could try your drawing pins, you know, and put one of those in, but they are just, I cannot get them in. I can get it in with a hammer, but I don't want to do that on camera because that is just loud and noisy and everything shakes. So I am going to attach it probably with a drawing pin and a hammer off camera so I can show you what it looks like. But the goal is to have this ribbon be here, nice and neat. And I think I need to attach it this way around, right? So it will look better. And then the hanger and the gift is finished. So it looks like we're going to sew it down after all. This was my attempt of hammering it in. Did not work. So if you have nice soft wood, you can use drawing pins to make your life a lot easier. If you have not soft wood like I do, you have to sew everything into place. I am using this thread because I have it lying around here. I have secured it with a knot. And I also did a back stitch, which is the best way to secure your thread if you're doing hand sewing. And now I want my ribbon to align with this column of knit stitches. So I am going to put it on like this here. Okay, now turn it around. And then I am going to start sewing it down like this. I'm gonna come over so you can see what I'm doing better. Now, I will whip stitch it down basically like that. So now that I have reached the end of my knitting, I'm going to turn it around and do the same on the other side. Now, I want this at the top. I want my thread to lie on top of the ribbon and not go under the ribbon at the edge. I know that I could have done this in a way neater way, but also if I do it like this now, you can actually tell what I'm doing because everything is in contrasts, you know, and you can really see what I do. I'm going to go absolutely to the edge here, and then again on this side to the edge, because otherwise when you hang it on a wall, it will hang weird. And I just really don't want that. I want this to look super nice on my wall. So I am going to the very edge so that it is sewn down like this. Now I am going to secure this end by going through here for a bit, making another small knot. You do that by making a tiny stitch like this, pull it through, and then you have this loop, and you go through your loop with your needle, and then you have a small knot. I'm going to do another one just in case, because I really don't want this to open up on me. And then I'm going to come over here and I will cut it off. And now it's time to do the same on the other side so that the hanger is nice and secure on my piece. Important is that you make sure that the hanger, the ribbon that you use, lies flat and looks nice, and it is not twisted, because if you sew it down like this, there's a twist in it and you can never untwist it, of course, because it's sewn down and will look horrible. So make sure to put a nice loop in here before sewing it down. The little cable needle holder board is finished. It took about half an hour to do this whole thing with all of the sewing and lacing, and you know, it would have been even faster with a staple gun or with drawing pins or a hot glue gun, but this sewing it down took half an hour. So you can use a swatch, a bit of leftover wood and ribbon, and some fiber fill to create a last minute gift for a knitter in your life in just half an hour. And I'm super excited about it. If you do not have a swatch lying around, or if you really like this pattern itself, I will have that as a download on Ravelry and my website for free. And yeah, I'm just very, very excited. I wanted to do this for a very long time, and now I'm finally here with the finished piece in my hand. And I hope that you will like this little DIY idea and give it a go and make a knitter happy. I'm going to say goodbye for now. I hope you have a great Christmas, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.